Joining me now, we have one of the lawmakers who toured the facility, Florida Congresswoman and former DNC Chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Congressman, always good to see you. And in fact, we caught some of your immediate reaction after leaving that facility yesterday. You forcefully described that detention center as inhumane. So it's like Republicans went on a different tour. I mean, how do you explain the different views?
You explain the different views because Republicans have clearly fully signed up for the Coward Caucus and share completely different values than people who were elected, like the Democrats that toured this detention camp. Because when you look at the 32 adult males packed in wall to wall, like sardines in a cage, eight cages in each side of a tent, and say that's like conditions that you have at home, then obviously the cruelty, the inhumanity, and the lawlessness is the point. I mean, these were, if the video you're showing now, imagine 32 men packed into those cages right there, really no room to move. They were all sort of climbing all over the beds. 3 toilets with a 3-foot privacy wall, all in a row with a sink attached to it. They basically have to brush their teeth and get their drinking water in the same unit over the toilet, where they poop and urinate. I mean, the cruelty, the inhumanity, and also this was a pre-planned tour. They would not allow us, as members of Congress are required to be allowed, to tour the facility unannounced. They got wind that we were going to do that, and they pre-planned this tour. And I can tell you that they are not using the same conditions, because I went to Krome Detention Center and saw a temporary tent that they erected because they have overcrowding there. And those detainees were not in cages. They told me that they were in cages at this facility because they were temporary, and those are the standards they use. That is not true.
So you think the fact that you weren't given access on an unannounced visit was so they could clean it up for this visit that you saw yesterday?
Oh, for sure. And then even then, they wouldn't show us the actual toilets they use. Made some excuse about, like, someone threw poop at a guard, so that's why they weren't going to show us. On an unannounced visit, I was able to see every single thing: the toilets, the medical facility. They would not show us the medical facility. They wouldn't show us the working dining hall because they wouldn't let us get anywhere near the detainees themselves. They are trying to shield what's really going on there. And what they showed us was obviously sanitized. When I went to Krome on an unannounced visit, it was pretty disgusting. You had, in the intake area, you had detainees that were packed in like sardines. I mean, they set this up in a way to make it look like the least worst situation that you could have. And it's so bad that they couldn't even achieve that.
Federal officials say that this facility is where vicious and deranged people are being sent before being deported. The Miami Herald reports that more than 1/3 of the more than 700 people detained or scheduled to be sent there have no criminal charges in the U.S. and mostly faced immigration violation charges. What does this reveal about the immigration crackdown in your state?
It reveals that they are not being truthful or transparent in what's really going on, and that this is essentially a black site that needs to be shut the hell down. I mean, that's the bottom line here. They told us that everybody in that facility being detained had been convicted and was in final stages of deportation. The Miami Herald story came out clearly today with lists of hundreds who have no criminal record whatsoever. DHS, is lying about that these are supposedly criminals that are terrorists from other countries. I mean, there's no documentation, no evidence of that. They have people banded based on their level of criminality, and clearly most of the people there had nothing more than a traffic stop or no infraction at all. This is run by the state for ICE. We were told that specifically. ICE is deciding who goes. ICE is deciding what the standards are. And members of Congress, by law, are required to be allowed to see this facility unannounced, and we will make sure that we accomplish that goal so we can really see more of what's going on there.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said that she's talked with 5 Republican governors, none of whom she identified, about building alligator Alcatraz type facilities in their states. So how can Democrats ensure that those sites, the ones that have yet to come, meet the basic humanitarian standards?
Well, in Florida, they're spending twice per detainee what other facilities have. $450 million in state taxpayer funds are being wasted on this in order to make sure that the cruelty is maximally possible. We need to make sure that these other state lawmakers and other members of Congress need to push back hard on their own state governments not to allow more of these black sites to be established. We need to make sure if you are a criminal and you've been convicted, you've been given due process, and you're an undocumented immigrant, you need to be deported. If you are simply here as so many TPS holders and humanitarian parole holders, if you're here because you followed all the rules and were lawfully here and Trump suddenly made you undocumented and all you were doing was making a better way of life for yourself and your family, then you need to be given an opportunity to stay and not deported to a country like Haiti or Venezuela, where the conditions are horrific and there is so much danger and political oppression. It's an outrage, and the cruelty is the point, Alex. The cruelty is the point with this administration, and we need to make sure that we continue to shine a spotlight. We helped get Homestead Detention Center shut down in Trump's first term because we were able to shine sunlight on it, and we're going to be relentless until we make sure that this black ops detention center is shut down.